Versus keep our politicians fighting. How do we, the people, rise up and solve the great challenges of our time? We do it by embracing freedom and liberty. There may be no such thing as a free lunch, but this hour is as close as it gets. Welcome to A Free Solution.
Hey, it's Larry Sharp. I am so happy to be with you today. Usually host of the super cool Sharpway show, but today with you, WYSL Rochester, New York, WACK Newark, New York. Yes, the cool Newark. Sorry, Jersey. Absolutely true. Here on A Free Solution, reach out to me, 585-346-3000. Now, you might say, Larry, love hearing your show. You tell us stories sometimes. I wish you would tell me a story. I'm gonna. I want you to think about something for a moment. Think about a family. Maybe they're a New York State family. Maybe they're not, but they're a family. In this case, there are 4 people in this family who work, meaning it's a big family, all in one large household, and they all work. So there's a mom, a dad, they both work. There's a son and a daughter, they're both adults, they both work. Well, now there's 2 others. There's also another son, another daughter, but they're young, they don't work. So 6 people in this large family in one house. They're all making money, right? The 4 people are making money, bringing money into the house. But things are getting expensive. They're deciding, how do we handle this big house? What do we do with it? Should we keep it? What are we going to do? Time's getting a little bit tough. And the mom, in this case, she handles most of the finances in this family. She does. And so dad and kids are like, hey, mom, do you have any ideas on how to make this better? She goes, don't worry about it. I got it covered. Oh, you do? Yeah. Do we have to make any more money? No. In fact, I don't want my kids working, even though they're adults. I don't want them working at night. I'm going to stop them from working at night. They only can work during the day. Otherwise, you can't live here. The kids go, but Ma, I can make some extra money if I work at night. If you don't restrict me from working and I want to work at night, I can make more money. Ma says, no, I know you're an adult. Doesn't matter. You live in my house. You may not work at night. So now things get worse because the kids can't go out and make cash at night. They can't be bartenders. They can't drive Uber at night. They can't do any of that stuff. They got to only work during the day. They got restricted by mom. Mom's tough. So dad's like, all right, we'll deal with this. Well, now dad's worried the bills. They're getting higher. You're restricting the kids from working. It's tough. She goes, I got it covered. Don't worry about it. He says, okay, how? Well, we're no longer behind in our payments. Oh, well, that's great. We're not behind in our payments. Awesome. What'd you do? I got another credit card. Okay. That's not great. That's not a great way of dealing with our budget issues here. We should probably either let our kids work more. Maybe you could work more. I could work more. Or we could get different jobs. Mom says, no, you got a job. Keep your job. Don't change anything. Oh, okay. Well, then maybe we could cut some spending. She says, no, I have the credit card. We're fine. Don't worry about it. We're not behind. We're still in debt, but we're not behind. Dad's worried, but he lets it go. But daughter's really savvy. She's smart. She says, this is getting bad. This is not working. And she packs up and she leaves. She gets her own house because if she lives in her mom's house, she can't work at night. And she wants to do other things. She wants to be able to work at night, daytime, whenever she wants to work. So she packs up and she leaves. She gets her own house, some other place, doing her own thing. Well, now they lost the income. House is still big. Still got people they depend on. Got 2 little kids who can't work. Dad is like, oh my God, What are we going to do now? Mom says, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. What are you talking about? No. Again, the credit card. Wow. Okay. Dad's worried now. Really mad. What's going on here? She says, don't worry about it. It's fine. So Dad says, look, I'm upset. We got to take a vote here and decide what we're doing in this household. We just lost our daughter who was a breadwinner, and she's making money someplace else, some other house right now. You're not letting son work. Now you're mad at me. I can't change my job. And all we're doing is getting more credit card debt. She goes, all right, I have a vote. 3 of us, 3 breadwinners in this house. The little kids don't vote because they don't work. 3 of us vote. Son votes with Mom. Says, I love you, Mom. I'll vote for you. That's the plan. A couple months go by. Son's in trouble. Son loses his job. He can't work anymore. Lost his job. He's got to go find another job now. Mom says, don't worry about it. I'll get you a job. He says, really? Yeah. Dad's like, oh my God, that's great. You're going to get him a job. She goes, yeah. He's going to work for me. Work for you? Who's going to pay him? Well, I will, says the mom. Okay, but if you pay him, there's no money coming into our household. Yes, he has a job. That's true. But he's not making any money for the household. He's just making money. She goes, yeah. So son is like, this is great. I get to work for you and get paid. She's like, yeah, and I'll give you a raise. Oh my God. Dad's like, this is insane. We can't do this. We're not making any money. We lost daughter. Now we lost son. We still got dependents. And you're paying him from money that you and I are making? This doesn't make any sense. She goes, let's vote on it. He goes, all right, that's the plan we made up. Let's vote on it. He says, come on, son. Vote with me. You know this is crazy. And the son says, Dad, she's paying me. I'm not going to vote for you. I mean, she's paying me. She's paying me. I'm going to vote with her. So it's 2-1. Sorry, Dad. This is our plan. So Dad says, well, then how are we going to make my money? She says, don't worry about it. I got more credit cards. We're good. This is literally New York State. That story I just told you is literally New York State. Okay, not literally, but you know what I'm saying. It is actually a great analogy for New York State. It's almost literal. This is what we're doing. We're just getting more credit cards. We're now paying people to work from our own budget. And here's the worst part. When son gets his cash, son goes over to someone else's house and spends the money. So he doesn't even spend the money in the own household, for the household. He's buying it for other people. Even worse. That's what's happening right now in our state. We are having a situation to where we don't create any environment for people to work more or harder or the way they want or do what they want. So daughter wanted to work at night. Son wanted to work at night. Nope. Dad wanted to change his job. No. There are restrictions upon what you may do. You must keep doing what you're doing or do it the way I tell you to do it. You don't get freedom. And then when daughter packs up and leaves, she's the smart one. She packs up and leaves. We don't even ask her to come back. We just put more restrictions. When son can't work because he loses his job, we don't create an environment to help the son get a job. We just pay him. We'll pay him with our money and he'll stay. And he'll vote the way we tell him to vote. Why? Because we're paying him. Why else would he vote the way we tell him to? We're paying him. Are you mad at him for that? He's human. You might do it too. You might do it too. Why isn't dad leaving? Dad loves mom. Dad loves the household. He doesn't want to leave. He's torn. He's torn. He's also older. He's invested in the relationship, in the family, in the home. Does he really want to leave? No. He's desperately trying to change things. He can't, because mom and son have made a voting block against him. He's got problems. Is he going to leave? Or is he going to try to convince them to change his household? And mom thinks everything's great. Why? Because they're not behind on payments. And that is an accurate statement. And that's accurate for New York State. We're not behind on payments. We just keep bringing out more credit, more debt. And as long as we can service the debt, we're not behind on payments. Accurate statement. And according to New York State, and some of your heads are going to explode when I say this, that equals a balanced budget. Yes, it does. More debt equals a balanced budget as long as you can service the debt. So as long as you keep getting credit cards to keep paying your other credit card minimums, balanced budget. That is how New York State works. That is how we're working right now. And we wonder, why do we have inflation? Why are people leaving? Why do we create no new jobs unless the government creates the jobs? How is that happening? How do we have a situation to where we lose 2.5 million people, but raise our budget by billions? Just in 2 years, we've raised our budget about 40 billion and lost 500,000 people. Just do the math. You lose 500,000 New Yorkers. You gain $40 billion in liabilities. That's not good. You don't have to have a degree in mathematics and accounting or economics to figure that one out. That's not good. That's our state. We're in trouble. Am I right? Am I wrong? Is this your family? Tell me. 585-346-3000. Larry Sharp on A Free Solution. WYSL. Back after the break.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
Oh, those injury attorney ads.
Hurt on your couch? Call 555-OUCH.
It's kind of cute watching that injury attorney buying breakfast for a crash test dummy, but while fun is fun, there's nothing amusing about getting your life back together after a personal injury or a motorcycle accident, or when you need defense for a DWI charge. Christopher Johnson takes your case seriously, and you'll feel like you're his only client because when you meet with him, your case gets 100% of his attention. So instead of cute singing jingles and magic phone numbers,
Fall out of a tree? Call 33333.
write this number down and keep it with you. 585-415-3803. 415-3803. After all, Christopher Johnson knows you're no dummy. Get individual attention and integrity, experience, and expertise. Put the power of one on your legal team. 415-3803. Stay safe, be healthy, drive sober. Christopher Johnson Attorney, personal injury, car or motorcycle accidents, DWI defense.
As a veteran of the United States military, I can finally get the opportunity to enjoy special events, things that we couldn't afford, thanks to VetTix. Every empty seat at a concert, a game, or a play is a missed opportunity to say thanks to a veteran and service member. We can give our veterans a special event where they too can create their own cherished memories. Visit vettix.org. Find out how you can make a difference in a veteran's life.
With disastrous leadership in Washington, corporate media that's a captive of government, and increasing censorship of the news, it's important to preserve freedom of speech and truth, whether it's related to endless COVID mandates, Albany corruption, or city violence. Try something different in 2022. Utilize the WYSL stations to advertise and grow your business. Take advantage of our huge audience, entertained and informed by great conservative programming. Affordable and effective. The WYSL stations, the voice of liberty. Call 346-3000 to advertise.
A free solution.
Yes, it is Larry Sharp here on WYSL, Rochester, New York, WACK, Newark, New York. So happy to have you here this afternoon. And here's the best part. If you go, Larry, I like this show. I know, me too. You can watch it, listen to it every day, noon, here. And you can do that by just following A Free Solution on Facebook or YouTube. And before you know it, you'll see the cool people, not just me, Kevin Wilson, Tim O'Connor, Craig Miles. That's the real squad, right? That's the real squad right there. I mean, I think I just insulted everybody. Anyway, you know what I mean? The idea is it's a cool show. You should listen. You should watch. Absolutely. So before the break, I was talking about a family. And I was bringing up the idea that in that family household, there's never a time when they discuss either ways to increase the income of the family or ways to decrease the spending in the family. Those are the two things that the average American, the average New Yorker, has to consider all the time. You've got to think, do I need to decrease spending or do I need to increase my income? Should I sell something? Should I change my job? Should I work harder? Should I get a second job? All those different things. And if I go into debt, as many New Yorkers do, is this an investment? Is this debt that I can actually repay? Not that I can just service forever. And we all have to think about that. And sometimes we mess up and we make a mistake. And we should have done X, should have done Y, and we mess up. But when we mess up, we've got to fix that mess up too, don't we? I know you're listening going, yeah, Larry, I remember when I messed up and I should have done this and I didn't, and it made my life harder, and I had to pay for that in a different way. Maybe through work, maybe through relationship, maybe through cash, but I had to pay for it. Yeah. When does New York pay for it? I don't think ever. When do our government leaders pay for it? I don't think ever. So inflation goes higher and higher. Our cost of living goes higher and higher. We, as New Yorkers, have to struggle and make these hard decisions. Do I have to change my job? Do I have to pack up and leave? Do I have to move in with a family member so that we can keep one household? Happens a lot. You see people do it all the time, right? I'm going to move in with my cousin, my sister, my brother, my mom, my dad, so that I can keep those households together. This way the dollar goes further. We'll do that. When does New York State do that? I think never. But here's the worst part. The harshest part, I should say. If you or I make those decisions for our family and we mess up, it really affects our family. If you lose that job or go for that job you were going to try and doesn't work out, or your spouse or your family member gets ill or something bad happens, you pay for it. So do I. It affects our lives. Let me ask you, when some government bureaucrat who's running things, not the average government worker is just doing their job. But there's a bunch of bureaucrats who are leaders, and they're not just doing their job. They're setting themselves up to be cronies for decades. So some bureaucrat crony, some leader, congressman, assemblyman, governor, lieutenant governor, whomever the case may be, they make a mistake. How do they pay? Are they hurt by this? No. Our previous governor, His Majesty, or former Majesty, should we call him His Eminence now? His Eminence, King Cuomo II, He left in disgrace. Threw some commercials up this weekend, raised $2 million. Out there talking trash already, thinking about running for governor again. How did he pay for this? He didn't. Okay, a little bit. He got yelled at and had to quit for a while and took a vacation. Okay, I guess that's punishment. I guess I would like that to be my punishment when I mess up. If I mess up, I get to have vacation, keep $20 million in my account, and then raise $2 million with a commercial over the weekend. I want that to be my punishment. I'll mess up every year. That'd be awesome. So I guess he kind of got punished, but that's it. And it isn't necessarily about punishment. Punishment feels good. It does. What I actually just want is consequences. It doesn't have to be necessarily punishment. It can be. But it could also be reinforcement when you do well. But what does our government do? They make decisions, treat us like family, treat us like kids, which is why I use the kids analogy. They told the kids, who were adult kids in this case, when and how they can work. And then they had the idea to make more money and help out. No. And then the dad says, hey, how about cut some spending? Mom goes, no. And the daughter's a smart one. She packs up and leaves. Try to keep her here? Mom says, no, go away. When son loses his job, I'll just give him money because that works. This is where we are. But if that was a real family, that family can't get credit cards forever. That family can't stay together. That family is going to break up and that household's going to collapse. Will we? And if we do, will the leaders who brought us there, will they have any consequences? I would argue no. I would say there's none. And why do I say that? The writing's on the wall. If you can't see that, you're not paying attention. We are watching New Yorkers leave. We are watching the cost of living skyrocket. We are watching all of the things, all of them, horribly happening. And our answers are always the same. More money. That's it. I'm going to go to someplace now that's a little bit off. Talk about what we're doing with our state. But now inflation. We're seeing a cost of living going up. So you would think if we have a cost of living going up because of inflation, is a chunk of that, a big chunk of that is inflation. Well, how do I deal with inflation? Either I have less money or more products and services. Either one works. Well, I don't want to put less money into the hands of my New Yorkers. I want to put more money in your hands. Of course I do. I don't want to give it to you. I want you to have some value in the market and gain money from your value in the market, whether that's through business or work or intellectual property or labor, whatever that is, whatever you want to do. I want you to be able to put what you want into the market and get money back. That's what I want. I want to encourage that to the best of my ability. So why would I want to lower the amount of money? Because if I don't, I have to increase services and products. How can I do that? By freeing you. By allowing you to make more products and more services and to work more if you want to, and to work smarter if you want to stop deciding how you put value into the market. That's what I was talking about. We're not doing that. Instead, we're giving people more money, more stimulus checks coming out, more money in your pocket. I'm not against more money in your pocket. Again, I just would like services and products to match it so we don't have inflation. I hope we all make bazillions of dollars, as long as there's also bazillions of dollars worth of products and services that can match it. We don't have crazy inflation. I would like all of that. Who's talking about that? Yeah, only me. But instead, there's always a problem. There's always an issue. There's always a reason to not think. Whether it's the Russians in Ukraine, COVID, insert the thing here. The new thing that gives me an excuse to not be a good steward of this state. Whatever that is, that keeps popping up. And we have more inflation and more pain and write more checks and change nothing. And the newest problem is always the reason. Whatever the new problem is, that's the way. The new thing. Now it's the war in Ukraine. That's everything. That's the reason for everything. Every bad thing you've ever had in your life, it's Putin. Everything. Before that, it was COVID. Before that, New York State, not other states, but New York State, it was Trump. So it went Trump, COVID, Putin. What's next? How about fixing our state? I would like that. How about dealing with inflation, dealing with crime, and making this state a better state? It's not a bad idea. That's what I think. Am I right? Am I wrong? 585-346-3000. Larry Sharper, Free Solution, WYSL. Back with your comments, and the chat's going nuts. I will deal with the chat and your calls after the break.
Celebrating 35 years.
WYSL.
AM 1040 Avon, Rochester, FM 92.1 Rochester, and FM 95.5 Spencerport.
Here's the latest forecast from the Newsted Nbc Weather Center. For tonight, we'll see increasing clouds. We'll drop down into the upper 20s, low 30s. On Wednesday, there could be a little icy mix first thing in the morning, then just rain showers. Kind of a cool, damp day in the 30s and 40s. A warm front tomorrow night could bring a little downpour, even a rumble of thunder. And then temperatures will get noticeably milder. Couple of showers, but a lot of dry time Thursday. Temps near 60. I'm Rich Caniglia, WYSL.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
WYSL.
With energy costs on the way up, you want to keep the cold out and the warmth in. And when you keep the warmth in, you'll keep more of your money in your wallet. Chamberlain Construction reminds you, even if your home is relatively new, insulation technology has advanced rapidly, no matter whether your home or other building is recent or historic. Consult with Chamberlain about an insulation upgrade to save on energy. And whatever your need, they can handle it. Commercial or residential, roofing, siding, kitchens, baths, decks, porches, remodeling, bump outs, garages, with the best in materials and workmanship, over 30 years of reliable, ethical experience anywhere in the region. Now's the perfect time to get your important project underway. Call Chamberlain Construction Dansville, 370-5959, 370-5959. Contact Lee Chamberlain at lee@chamberlainconstruction.com. That's Chamber, L-I-N.
Looking for something meaningful to do? As a Camp Good Days volunteer, you'll work with children and adults who will inspire you. Just listen to what one volunteer says about her experience.
It's unlike any other thing that I've ever experienced in my life. I won the lottery 10 times fold. My husband and I plan all year on what we're going to do for these kids.
Learn more about many volunteer opportunities at Camp Good Days and special times on the web at campgooddays.org.
Families who choose cremation may worry about security. Are the ashes in the urn, in fact, their loved ones? Bartolomeo and Prado Funeral Home is Monroe County's exclusive provider of cremation with confidence. Their 10-step cremation process guarantees that the cremated remains returned to you are those of your loved one. To learn more about cremation with confidence, call Bartolomeo and Prado Funeral Home, 720-6000.
If you need a COVID-19 vaccine booster, your Livingston County Health Department and Office for the Aging offer the Moderna vaccine booster on Fridays in March, the 25th from 3 to 4 p.m. at the Health Department campus in Mount Morris Building 2. You must be 18 or older. Make an appointment by Googling Livingston County Health Department or call 243-7520 to register. Rides may be available. Again, 243-7520.
Life is a series of moments, big moments, small moments, moments you want to bottle up so they can last forever. At Edward Jones, we want you to make the most of all of them. Whether you're planning for the trip of a lifetime, retirement, or just need some everyday advice along the way. That's why an Edward Jones financial advisor like me works with you to build personalized strategies for today and tomorrow. I'm Anthony Dijon, Edward Jones financial advisor located in Victor, New York. Call 585-924-7471.
Edward Jones, member SIPC.
What do you get when you join Monroe County Scope The Truth to help defend your Second Amendment rights? You'll learn ways to support legal safe gun ownership and how to get involved to protect the Constitution. It's up to you. From ScopeNY2A.com.
Fritz's Patriot Place. Over 75 different flags. Don't tread on me. We the People 1776. Second Amendment and more. Route 251 Mendon. East of the Four Corners. Next to the old hotel. Visit fritzspatriotplace.com.
A free solution.
Yes, it is Larry Sharp here on A Free Solution. So happy to have you here this afternoon. And if you like what I'm talking about, you can also watch me in the Sharp Way. Just Google the Sharp Way, go to sharpway.com or also LarrySharp.com. All good. You can just Google Larry Sharp if you want to. I'm not famous, but I have a Wikipedia page. Is that good? It sounds good to me. I want to grab a bunch of comments. The chat's going nuts here, so I want to grab a couple of those if I could. Sam says, according to Bloomberg, all the family had to do is switch from meat to lentils and let their pets die instead of paying for vet care for them. Well, he's not wrong. It's just absolutely terrible that you should do that. But Sam, this is the part that's making people upset. And that is, we are worried. We are worried about what wealthy or popular people think when they aren't actually struggling. Now, does Bloomberg have to struggle to know what we're feeling? No, it's not required. But if you don't know, maybe you should ask somebody or say nothing. There are many parts of America and New York and specific issues that people are dealing with that I've never dealt with. So you'll hear me all the time do one of two things. One, not talk about it because I don't know and I can't get it. Or two, tell you stories of other people who've gone through it. So now at least my story is not me trying to say, I know everything, Sam. I'm going to say, I heard people who have been through this. Here's what they've told me. And here's how I'm going to act based upon their experience. That's what Bloomberg should be doing. Not going, well, just sacrifice, peasants. That's what he's actually saying. And the reality of it is, though, is if you wanted to switch from meat to lentils, okay. But why is he telling you to? I'm not against lentils. If you like lentils, please. That's awesome. I love it. Joel says, child labor laws need to be reviewed and reworked. I was lucky to be able to work in my family business. No regulations hindering it at a young age. It's a tough one, right? Yes and no. You don't want to make it to you have kids too young doing tough work they shouldn't do, affecting their schoolwork. You don't want that, right? You do want kids to have the opportunity to get the education they require to do what they want in life. You do want that. So there's got to be a balance. With that in mind, you are correct in that child labor laws do need to be reworked, in that we still are acting like some kid who's 16 or 15 is going to be working in a coal mine. It's not how it works. At worst, they'll be working in an office on a computer somewhere. So I agree. The dangers that existed years ago don't really exist now. But we also don't want kids not getting education. You also don't want to put kids in situations to where they're intimidated by powerful adults to do things they shouldn't be doing. So you want to make sure you have both of those things. Agreed, with a couple of caveats. So yes. All righty. In any case, Joe says, I don't vote for the irresponsible parents. That's smart. I like that. Absolutely. That's actually funny. Don't do that. Okay. Ed says, this is why Democrats did their tricks to believe, because they want free stuff. Well, I got to be fair. In my story, and I hope you all were listening for my story in the first segment, the son who's getting the money from the mom, for the son, it is free stuff. So I know we as libertarians out there are like, nothing's free, Larry. It's all taxpayer or debt. You're right. That's an accurate statement. And for the person getting the check, it's free. That person sees it as free. So he is getting free stuff. Now, the question is, do we want to give him free stuff, or do we want to make his life better to where he can do the work that he wants to do so he can earn his stuff? I like option 2. The problem is option 2 is messier. Option 2 is more of a gamble. Option 2 means you have to have actual policies. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with all 3 of those. I think that's the actual way of doing things. The easiest thing is write him a check. 100%. Michelle says, federal government does the same thing. Yes, that could have been a federal government plan. Except if you got to add federal government, we have to give money away to bomb people, or they'll allow others to bomb people, or for us to bomb them, either way. But there's bombing involved. So if that family maybe also had a weapons factory, then we can make it federal government. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah. So Joe says, I cut spending or increase income, not debt, for my household budget. Yes, we should say that. Yes, we should all do that and act that way. Why can't others do that? Yes, love that. Dave says, Larry, as long as people invest in New York bonds and New York mutual funds, New York will always have money. Yes and no. New York will always have money, but when you use bonds and mutual funds, that's debt, right? So while it'll have money, it will also keep having debt and have to keep having to pay back that debt, which eventually servicing that debt will become too high at one point. I don't know what point that is, but at one point, people will stop buying it because New York State can't provide enough tax revenue to guarantee the bonds. You can say, well, Larry, they'll just guarantee it through the Constitution. They'll guarantee it through law. When there's no money, you don't get paid. Law doesn't matter at that point, right? This isn't the federal government. So the Fed says print money. New York State can't just print money. So it doesn't work. That works federal because we just turn the money machine on. We're good. New York can't do that yet. Maybe soon, Dave. But anyway, my point is, you're correct. But at one point, the debt becomes so much, and the tax revenue becomes so low that no one trusts them. Right? New York brings in about, if my numbers are right, about $80 billion in taxes every year. I think it's about right in that area. I might be off on that, but I think it's about 80 billion. So what happens when New York only brings in 60 billion, 40 billion? Larry, that'll never happen. As people are not working, as people are leaving the state, as the wealthy leave the state, the number will go down. I'll have to start doing it instead on fines and fees. And as I bring on more fines and fees, people get upset. More people leave. Fines and fees make people leave. They don't raise taxes. They just instead count fines and fees. And as that begins to happen, then what? So yes, Dave, you're correct. My worry is at one point it goes too high to where it's unserviceable. That's my issue. So yes. All right. Let's see if I can keep going down here. Novatrick says, thanks for what you do, Larry. I appreciate that. Thank you too. Absolutely. So, all right. Elaine says, talk about food waste in this country. It plays a role in inflation. Elaine, you are completely correct. Absolutely. It doesn't only create a role in inflation. It also, believe it or not, affects our homelessness and our hungry. It does. As we spend so much time trying to ensure that every piece of food that we put out in this world is perfect, we wind up throwing tons of food away, not allowing people to have the food, and actually forcing people to live out of dumpsters. And I'll give you two different pieces of this. The amount of waste, every time you're throwing food away, well, now we have to make more food to make up for that, but we didn't get any money for that. That's products and no services. Well, I'm sorry, and no money. So now I have to raise prices on that to make up for the stuff I threw away, to make up for the waste. So now if that piece of meat should have cost you $3, now that piece of meat costs you $4. It's the same piece of meat. You're correct. But there are also people who are hungry, who could use the food that you're going to throw away anyway. But we can't give it to them. It's against the law. So we throw them out, throw the food out. So what do the homeless people do? All the hungry people do? They dumpster dive because that's legal. So literally, at the end of my day as a restaurant, bakery, food processing plant, whatever, I could, and this used to happen, put out large tables at the end of the day. Here's what I'm going to throw out. Anybody want it? Take it. If you want to take it. And shelters would come by, people would come by and take it. Food pantries would come by and take the food and give it out to people who are hungry. That was a common thing. Cities like New York said, no, you can't do that. You can't give that food out. That food is expired, or that food has to go into the garbage. So they said, okay, and they threw it in the garbage. And what happens? Well, the food pantries now can't take that because they can't take food out of the garbage and give it to you anymore. That's also illegal. And who would take it? So who actually goes in the dumpsters? The actual people who are hungry or homeless. So now you've made those people who are already in trouble, either hungry and or homeless, now jump into garbage cans to eat. And you wonder why in many cities, people eat out of garbage can. Well, they're accustomed to it because we've made them. We've taken their dignity. Yes, thank you for that, Lane. I appreciate that. Let me keep going if I can. Michelle, I think talking about Cuomo says, did you see he may run under a third party he's going to make up? Yes, and this will reinforce my third party stuff. You won't know I'm running as libertarian, busting my rump, going to have to get a bunch of signatures. It's going to cost me 6 figures to do so and get my entire volunteer crew out there to do it, to have to get about 70,000 signatures. Officially, it's 45. But if you don't get at least 60 or so, the Democrats, Republicans will throw me off the ballot. I'm going to spend all this time and money to get a third party. Cuomo has $20 million in his pocket. He'll be fine. He'll just buy them because this system is made for the wealthy and the establishment. He is both. He will have no problem, Michelle. He'll just write a big check. He'll just buy the signatures. I wish that wasn't true, but I know it is. I guess I need to have more money and just write big checks. Maybe that's my issue. You guys gonna give me a big check? Go ahead. I won't give it to Cuomo, I promise. Larry Sharp, a free solution. WYSL Rochester, New York, 585-346-3000. Back after the break.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to Simple Tech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that Simple Tech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at Simple Tech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at Simple Tech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
Dear Dr. Sussman.
Dear Dr. Sussman, I just wanted to write to all the wonderful people who work with Dr. Sussman and Dr. Pogel at the Center for Cosmetic Dentistry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Each person in the office made me feel my smile.
Not only am I
was
completely happy with my smile, but I feel you've been there for me with all my dentistry
I've had
needs.
several dentists in my life, but never a dentist of your caliber. You have state-of-the-art.
You keep
dental
current in your field as evidenced by your numerous diplomas and certificates, and your entire staff is really the cream
I'm
of the
thrilled with the outcome of your skills and artistry. It's made such a difference in my life.
Dr. Sussman, Dr. Pogel, and the entire staff at the Center for Cosmetic Dentistry take great pride in providing not only advanced dental care, but extraordinary cosmetic dentistry. They love what they do and have a partnership with their patients toward long-term dental health.
For a bright, confident, beautiful smile.
Thank you, Dr. Sussman.
Thank you, Dr. Pogel.
Thank you.
Change your life, change your smile.
For more information, call the Center for Cosmetic Dentistry at 22 Smile or visit 22-smile.com.
There's a place in the village of Avon you and your critters will love. Whether they're big or small, whether they've got hair, fur, or feathers, Avon Feed fits every need. There's a full selection of pet foods, bird feeders, and wild bird food, plus garden tools, quality grass seed, and a great selection of dry shot boosts. Buy 10 bags of quality wild bird food, get the next bag free. Choose farm feeds and great equine products from Poland Grains. Find everything for your pet from feeding bowls to toys, leads, collars, beds, crates, and tie-outs. Avon Feed and Supply has what the big pet chain stores will never have: Tim Cole and his great knowledgeable staff. Choose from premium local products like Firefly, dairy, goat soaps, and lotions. While you're at Avon Feed, don't forget your two-legged pets with River at Thousand Island cheese and great flavors, including the new 12-year-old cheddar, plus Chef James bourbon meat sauce, once again nut butters and Nunday mustards. Open weekdays 9 to 6, Saturday 9 to 4. Avon Feed and Supply, West Main Street at the bottom of the hill, just west of the Circle.
A free solution.
Yes, Larry Sharp here on Our Free Solution. WYSL Rochester, New York, WACK Newark, New York. So happy that you're giving me a small chunk of your afternoon. And the chat is flying. I appreciate that. Today, I've been talking about how a family has to deal with money coming in, coming out, all the issues that we deal with. What I know, I talked about inflation and dollars and jobs and such. The last piece I want to bring up before we move on is crime, specifically bail reform. People get mad about this. A little bit off topic, but I do want to bring it up. People are mad about bail reform. And I get it on both sides. Democrats are like, no, leave it. It's the greatest thing in the world. Republicans like, no, get rid of it. It's horrible. I spoke of this last year, years ago. Bail reform could be fixed in one important way. There's only one important thing to repair here. Only one. Focus it on first-time offenders. That's it. It is the best way to fix it. Just focus it on first-time offenders. But Larry, all these people coming out of jail and killing people. Every one of them who've done these things are multiple offenders. Every one of them. Every one of them. So don't focus it on them. Focus it on first-time offenders. Why? You all know, and some of you are mad at me, but I'm still who I am. I believe in second chances. I really do. My own family, my own friends, people I know, I believe in second chances. And if someone's going to have a second chance, the best chance of that happening is when they get arrested the first time. That's their lowest point. And if you've either done that yourself or know someone who has, you know that first arrest, that can be, oh my God, everything I thought was wrong. I've made mistakes. What have I done? Oh my God. Give that first-time offender a chance to change their life around. Some won't, and then go back in jail, and they're going to be a third and fourth offender. I got it. But there's a bunch who that arrest is the wake-up call. Give them the opportunity to not have to sit in Rikers Island for 3 years. Give them the opportunity to get back out and say, I repent. What was I thinking? I'm changing my life around. Give them that chance. Some aren't gonna, I know. And they're going to be in jail again 2-3 times anyway. We see it all the time. But there are those who would have that chance, who would see it and change. Give them a chance. Second, what are the odds of someone just being wrong place, wrong time? Happens. They arrest the wrong person. Wrong place, wrong time. Massive arrest. They arrest everyone on the corner. This guy was just getting some milk. Didn't need to be arrested. Well, probably as a first-time offender. Give that guy a chance to get out and to go back to work and to prove his innocence and go, it's not me. I was just wrong place, wrong time. Awesome. What if the cops are wrong? DA's wrong. Happens. Best chance? First-time offender. All those things. First-time offender. Focusing on first-time offender solves a whole lot of problems. I brought this up 1,000 times. The best part is I'm going to give our current monarch, Her Majesty, Queen Kathy I, some credit. She actually brought this up. Someone's listened to the show. Thank you for listening. I've been saying this for years. You finally got it. Part of her 10-point plan, most of it useless, is at least let's focus on first-time offenders. That's really the answer. I know I yap away on this often, but I know people ask about it. I wanted to make sure I covered it. Amy says everyone should be given a second chance. Get help from the start. But if they mess them again, keep them locked up. Literally what I'm saying, Amy. Literally what I'm saying. Yes, we do want people. Absolutely. Ryan says some people do dumb things to get by, then go to prison where they learn from the pros. There's the other one. See, Ryan, the more we keep those people in jail and prison, the harder they become. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for that, guys. I hope you at least see where I'm going, even if you disagree. I hope you at least understand where my head is and what I'm trying to achieve. I do care about those things. I really do. So anyway, let me keep going if I could. Michelle says, my kid wanted money. He had 2 paper routes. I like that. I worked at 15. I did. I worked at 15 and at 16. So yeah, I get that. I worked in offices and I worked actually in a beer distribution plant wrapping bottles, return bottles. I know, just a teenage job. I remember that. Absolutely. So yeah, 100%. I think it is important. So, all right. Byron says there was a company that got in trouble for overworking kids recently. I can't remember who it was, but they were working them past a lot of hours and not paying them. That wrong. Thank you, Byron. Wrong. Yes, I don't want that, right? I don't want kids working to a point where they can't go to school, and I don't want them being taken advantage of. And that was my point that I mentioned earlier. We also want to make sure that the kids aren't being taken advantage of by savvy,
2 minutes,
powerful adults. Those kids were probably tricked into that. Or told, do it and you'll get this or something like that. They're teenagers. They don't know. And you got some savvy guy or gal who's like, don't worry, I got you. That is my other worry. You're right. So that's why I had a caveat when it came to changing labor laws. Absolutely. Walt says, New York brings in 60 bill. They spend 200. Yes. However, New York State doesn't only make money from tax revenue. It also makes money from fines and fees and so many other things. So I guess that 60 billion is a tax revenue. There's many other ways that New York State brings in money. So yeah, where I think our deficit was 40 billion. I think it was in that area. It was projected to be at 60. Then they got it down to 5 billion officially, which is just more debt. So the deficit was somewhere between 5 and 50 billion. That's the actual deficit in that area. So yes, just terrible. Thank you, Walt. Yes. All right. Amy says, produce that looks less than perfect should be offered at a lower price or donate to food pantries and shelters. I agree. Let them do it. Right? Byron responds, there's a law in California that requires big grocery stores to donate food to food banks. I'm kind of torn on that. Should we have laws that require such things, or should let them voluntarily do so, even if they may not be inclined to do that? Let's create an environment that gets people to want to do that. Let's give them benefits to do that. No law. Force doesn't work in the long run. Short run it does. Long run it doesn't. I don't want to force you. And I'm glad I didn't force you to be with me this afternoon. Thank you very much. I will see you all next week.